Shalom from Jerusalem. My name is Shani Ferguson, and today we're going to discuss best and worst ways to die in Gaza. So we'll begin first of all with an event that happened yesterday, which was that a hospital in Gaza was hit by tank fire. Of course, anytime in Gaza in which a hospital, mosque, or school is hit, that generally is the title. Nobody actually asks why, what happened, and everyone does all their condemnations and video clips before anybody has a clue what actually happened. And so we're only 24 hours into the event, and so far, some of the information that has come out is that there were Hamas operatives in the hospital, and so there was an initial tank fire into an area where they were supposed to be. And then when supposedly first responders were coming in, they were also fired upon. Assuming that part is true, Israel has already apologized for the loss of life of potential civilians and some journalists. The other thing that the IDF was able to show was that the hospital actually had a camera attached to it that was filming the activities of the IDF. And this was a camera that Hamas was using to track our soldiers and be able to plan attacks against them. And so where the error seems to have taken place, as far as we know right now, is that a drone was supposed to take out that camera, and for whatever reason, the tanks received the instructions to fire on the camera. And so they fired one shot on the camera. The second shot was the one that hit the area where there were said to be medics and civilians and journalists, which is why Israel has apologized for the error. But again, the responsibility for endangering civilians should be placed at the door of Hamas, who was clearly using the hospital for operations. Now, we do know from recent events that just because someone calls themselves a journalist doesn't mean they don't have the side job of being a Hamas terrorist. But in this case, let's just assume that they were journalists all holed up in a hospital that was being used by Hamas and had absolutely nothing to do with it, had no idea Hamas was there, and no idea that the place would be targeted, and no idea that Hamas actually uses hospitals and mosques and schools for their operations. The main point we're bringing up here is that if you are killed by accidental IDF fire, or if you die of sickness, or if you're martyred as a Hamas terrorist, you will be immortalized in Gaza, in the storybooks of children all over the Middle East, and in Western media. If, on the other hand, you are killed by Hamas, if you are tortured by Hamas as a Gazan in Gaza, or if you are kidnapped from Israel by Hamas, nobody cares what Hamas does. If Hamas beats you, if we film it, like in this footage where you see Hamas torturing their own people and starving hostages that were kidnapped from Israel, nobody cares. If you are fired on accidentally by an IDF soldier, it doesn't matter if you were a terrorist or if you weren't a terrorist, you will be counted among the innocent civilians who died in Gaza because of Jewish aggression. And so this begs the question, when people are protesting to save Gaza, are they really protesting for the sake of the Palestinians, the ones that are being tortured and murdered by Hamas, the ones that are being starved because Hamas will not allow the distribution of food? Are those the ones that are being cared about? And what if the IDF pulls out of Gaza? Will anybody care about what remains there? Will they be okay with Palestinian Arabs living under Hamas rule some more? Just some questions to ponder. Until next time, I'm Shani Ferguson. Shalom from Jerusalem.